Jordan Cornette joining us. Jordan, I think we've got Jordan here, right? Jordan. Oh, look at Jordan. Looking good, my friend. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Let's start with Duke. They've dropped their last 2 games. They're 5-4 this season. They play Louisville today on ESPN at 4 p.m. Eastern. So what the heck's gone wrong for Duke?
Well, I'll tell you what's gone wrong with this show is you guys have talked for 20 minutes and have not mentioned any ACC basketball. We are college basketball. And then you bring me in to talk about the teams that are struggling right now. Okay, that's fair. I will dive into this Duke team and talk about their struggles right now. Quite simply, it's not a Duke team that we've seen in years past. They don't have that star power. They don't have that guy that you can just say, go get us a bucket. Yes, Matthew Hurt has shined. He's been one of the best players in this conference, but it's the intestinal fortitude of Duke that has been really frustrating to watch. And what I mean by that is the inability to keep the perimeter defense in front of them. Too many dribble drives. They've been beat up on the defensive glass at times. And this team is not a pretty one that just goes out there and knocks down shots. They're in the bottom half of the conference in all the important offensive metrics. Aside from offensive rebounding, they've shown toughness there. But the whole lot of the struggle comes from no true star. Yes, Matthew Hurt's been good, but defensively they are vulnerable. All that to say this. Jalen Johnson returning for this team and how he looked versus Pitt. 24 points and 15 rebounds in that game, throwing 7 assists and 4 blocks. Maybe that's the identity that this offense takes on along with Matthew Hurt. Maybe the best basketball is ahead for the Blue Devils as they take on Louisville today, a team with a great backcourt.
We shall see. Let's go from Durham down the street to Chapel Hill. UNC, honestly, their struggles started last season, but North Carolina is only 4-3 in conference play this season. The Tar Heels play NC State. They lost to them earlier in the season at 2 p.m. Eastern. What do you make of what's going on in Chapel Hill?
Well, Christine, I did that first game. I commentated on that one, and Coach Williams for North Carolina echoed the same sentiment I shared for the 40 minutes of the game. It was an awful defensive performance from Carolina. That's a place I expect them to improve in a rivalry game here. And why North Carolina fans should be excited is because that backcourt, that much celebrated backcourt coming in with R.J. Davis and Caleb Love is starting to recognize who they are and announcing themselves in this conference. Caleb Love's coming off a 20-burger Fitzy in his last game versus Wake Forest. And for reasons like that, you should believe that maybe this perimeter's on their way to putting it together. I look at North Carolina and I look at Duke and I say, North Carolina has the better path to success this season. And again, I look at both North Carolina with a young backcourt, Duke with all that young personnel, and say, in this COVID era, those are the teams that I'm going to peg to fail because, as you heard Sean talk about it, it's the mental aspect that wears on these athletes when you don't know if there's going to be a pause in the program. You don't know who your next opponent is. Sometimes that can have an impact, and it's been a negative one on these younger teams as we've seen the themes play out.
Okay, so when you think about Duke and North Carolina, do you think either team has a chance of making the tournament this season?
I think both do, and I think both will. And when you've got coaches and you've got the talent that they do have, I think we've seen that attrition early on because they're young. They'll find a groove. They'll figure it out. Duke doesn't go on losing streaks for long, and North Carolina's just got too much talent, especially in the interior, where their best offense is go get that thing and bully you on the low block. That'll always find a way to rise to the top and find wins. They'll do enough, but in this era, when you're not sure how many games you'll have in a truncated season, you got to take every game for what it's worth and go out there and win. And I'm kind of noticing the trend here is we're going to talk about Duke and North Carolina. What about Virginia? They're a really good team. What about Florida State? They're a really good team. What about Virginia Tech? Every time, Christine, I'm on with Fitz, it's always dog in the ACC. I'm tired of this.
Hey,
real tired of it, Fitz. You're too good of a friend to do this to
Jordan,
me.
I'm an ACC girl. Don't worry.
First and foremost, Mr. Cornette, watch the show. Last week we talked about Virginia plenty. We gave them plenty of love. Yeah. Second, I went to high school in Bowie, Maryland. PG, I went to those Maryland Duke games when Maryland was still in the ACC. I got ACC love. Come on now. All right. So
yeah, we do miss Maryland in the ACC. Yeah, Maryland was good basketball.
By the way, I'm going to make 50 burrito a thing. All right. So we love it when you join the program because we always have a good time. But we're going to get you to look back at some of the last week's plays with us with some surprisingly great plays brought to you by State Farm. And let's start with some blue blood theme here. Surprisingly great for Georgia, not so much for Kentucky. The Wildcats lost another game, this time to Georgia in the final seconds. What do you think here? Cornette, you
gotta protect the goal. You gotta protect the goal above all else on an out of bounds under, and it's plays like that that have defined Kentucky this season. It's a mental lapse. 3 defenders, all of them giving up a clear pathway at the rim. A devastating loss and a huge collapse from Kentucky in that game.
You said his name earlier. Let's show the highlight now. R.J. Davis. We just talked about North Carolina. Here's arguably the best play of the season we've seen all year. A little behind the back pass here. This is something Cornette could have done, right? Like, Jordan Cornette, you could have done this.
Easy.
Yeah, with a game controller in front of me playing video games, that's about it. But this is when Carolina's at their best. Generating plays through excitement and energy, going off script. When you have that many athletes, Leaky Black to Armando Bacot, the punctuation, need to see more of this effort from an uber athletic Carolina team that has their best basketball in front of them.
All right, since we're talking about North Carolina, let's talk about Roy Wavy Williams. Check out these sneaks. I mean, obviously, if you're at UNC, this is a natural progression, but like, he's pretty swaggy, no?
Christine, I love Wavy Williams. How about this? Coach Williams, I'm talking to him on the phone the other week. Yes, that's a name drop. Go ahead and pick that up off the ground. And when I'm talking to Coach Williams, he goes, I'm talking about his shoes. I was like, Coach, you got more style than anybody in this game, even the young cats that you're coaching. And he goes, Jordan, what size shoe are you? I go, okay.
Oh, snap.
Coach, I'm a 14. I go, I'm a 14, Coach. He goes, see, I was hoping you'd say 9.5 because that's my shoe size. That's their test shoe size for all their shoes. I have every Nike, every Jordan, and I was going to ship them to you.
Mother of God, I'm a 9.5. I am a 9.5. Jordan Cornette.
You think Shay's going to be married to a 9.5? Coach Williams, come on.
Yeah, Coach Williams, hit me up. Look, we've had all this ACC love, all this Big 12 love with y'all. How about the Big 10? Purdue freshman Jaden Ivey gets the clutch 3, knocks off number 15 Ohio State. Lenardi has 10 of the 14 Big 10 teams making the NCAA tournament in the latest bracketology. Best conference in college basketball, right, Jordan?
It is absolutely the best conference in college basketball. I could say that as an ACC guy because every game played in that conference I have to sit down and watch. And also, put some respect on the Ivy family name. That is basketball royalty. Niele Ivey won a national championship playing women's hoops at Notre Dame in 2000. She has now replaced Coach Muffet McGraw, the legend there. She's doing great things, and so is Jaden Ivey.
Poster of the week, Rutgers' Ron Harper Jr. Oh my freaking goodness. This is embarrassing. He just completely mossed that defender. I feel bad.
He gets it from his daddy, Christine. Ron Harper had bounce himself. Junior's going to have the same thing. Guy can absolutely score at Rutgers. Needs to find consistency. That's a dangerous team.
All right, we're getting dangerous here with some pronunciation. Arizona buzzer beater over Arizona State. Wildcats get the tip in by freshman Azulis Tubelis. Man,
you killed that. I
feel like I did okay with that.
You nailed it.
Oh, look at that. I'm a pro.
You nailed it.
That's really all we got to show you on this highlight. We could just keep moving. I just wanted to prove I could pronounce a name.
All right, and then
Kenjo definitely got fouled there. I mean, no whistle.
I mean, but it's in our top place, so that's all that matters. All right, this is one of my favorite things. I actually found out the whole entire story of this by Fitzy, and it's a little bit of trolling. Florida blew out number 6 Tennessee. Of course, the Florida men's basketball Twitter account posted the lopsided score with a "We're loving it" in reference to allegations by the Dan Patrick Show that Tennessee football paid recruits with money in McDonald's bags. And this is the ultimate. This is just amazing, honestly.
Well, you guys both know me well. I do love that the trolling is going on there, but as it pertains to Tennessee, if I was one of those recruits, I would be more upset if I opened up my McDonald's bag and didn't see a Big Mac and saw money. Give me the Big Mac. I want the food. That's how I want to be honored with my commitment to a university. Give me the Big Mac.
I can't promise you I'll be professional on this show every week, but I can promise you you'll get Bill Walton. This is the Bill Walton quote of the week for our show.
You milk your best player all game, every game, from the start.
I understand that. And you've said before that you've been milked and you've milked others. But look, Evan Mobley.
I love being milked. I love being milked. I love being milked. I love being milked.
Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't require words. I mean, I was in the studio with Dallin Cuff when we heard that in our ears, and I was like,
oh, my goodness.
This is why the guy will work here forever. I mean, that's why he'll always have a place for lines like that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I like my job. Let's get to the next one quickly. A little bit of high school basketball action here.
Oh my
Jordan Cornette, have you seen this highlight yet? This is Keyshawn Murphy's dunk.
Yes.
And look at it. Brings the house down. You did that in high school,
taking
right?
a whole human out.
I mean, he literally brought the house down.
That's unbelievable. Like, seriously, that high school had to be sweating some serious bullets. That thing connects with anybody. I mean, you're talking about some serious liability. I don't know if I'm dunking ever again after that play.
I feel like that's the most impressive thing, that nobody else nobody got taken out by that, because I feel like I would have totally been just staring at it.
I'm just going to use that as the reason I don't dunk moving forward. Jordan, we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.